Oh, hey there, ho there.
This is Cap Chat, except I got baby girl with me.
Baby girl in the house. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna need that lighter.
I don't think it's lit.
We got it now. I'll try really hard not to breathe into the microphone.
So, I was actually asking... I was thinking about a lot of what Jordan Peterson had to say.
Oh, okay.
I was just curious as to how you felt on that. And it's just something that I was kind of thinking about with the other cap chats and the other things that we do, and it just...
Oh, that burnt.
It's not... What?
That burnt.
You alright?
Yeah.
You alright, girl?
Yeah. Don't smoke, it's bad for you.
His was that, what did they call it? The where you make everything normal across the board.
Equalization? I don't know.
Yeah, the equality of, not equality of care, but equality of fucking something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just curious.
I don't think... Oh, excuse me. I don't think things should be equal.
It's, well...
How are you going to learn if everything's equal? How is everybody going to get a chance to do things?
The argument for is that... And from where we live, from where we're at, currently... there's a lot of homeless people that are just walking around.
Yeah.
How do you fix that?
I don't know if you ever would. Even if there's homes for them to go to and they're still on the street. There's still places for them. Some of them choose not to go. Some of them rather be on the street.
So... I think the biggest question is how do you make the medium a little bit larger? There's super billionaires. They're so high up that it's impossible to even understand their level. And then there's people with nothing, literally nothing at all. And let me make sure this is still recording.
Is it still there? Hello, it's still there.
Yeah, it's still doing stuff.
It's still doing stuff and things. That's all right.
And then there's people that have nothing, not a thing, not a lick of anything. And then there's people like me and you. And we have some stuff, but the bills they're an issue. It's always what can we do with this? What should we do with that? What do we need to cut back on next time? What is the thing that we're going to do? And there doesn't seem to be... There's not a lot of wiggle room between homeless, we're trying our best, and then there's super upper class, and then there's the outlandishly wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you not believe that, that gap should be narrowed at least a little bit? In some way, I mean, just even if you just said, hey, for the multi-billionaires. Like, we're gonna tax this, and this, and you can't have your 27th yacht. So then there's a couple of extra people that get to eat chicken strips tonight.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be some kind of equality of outcome here. Because you work how many hours a week?
40.
I work 40 plus right now. And that's not because I have to. It's just because my boss needs me to. So that's just kind of and I make less money than you. Like, considerably less money.
Yeah. But I think that's just because I have the DSP license.
The chutzpah?
Not the chutzpah, but my license.
And I think that is a good part of it, because you went out of your way to make sure that happens, and you've kept a job. You've had your job longer than what I've had my job, and I do think that that's a thing that should come into place.
Off the subject, but they're finally spelling my name right.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Got my pay stub. And it was spelled right, and I thought, whoa, finally.
And I hate to put this on air, but it if you're okay with talking about it, it's like, just recently you came across what? Are you okay with talking about that or no?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
On the side of the road?
Oh, yeah, that scared the shit out of me.
What did you come across? Can you tell us about it?
There's a dead guy on the side of the road.
A dead guy on the side of the road.
Yeah, on my way to work last Thursday. Last Friday.
One of the people that is a regular in my store, and he's there all the time, found dead. There's nobody to do anything for him. He's just found dead in his house.
Yeah.
And you wonder to yourself, with the person that you found,
is he part of a family? Is anybody there for him?
Well,
why is he alone on the side of the street?
How long has he been there?
Yeah.
And you kind of, and there's a, because you were just saying, well, that these homeless people, like, they have choices. They could go to a place, and they could go, and they could do that. So let's say that either they can, they can't, or they didn't, or what have you. So then where are you at then at that point? Like, when you find somebody like that is just literally dead on the side of the road. And I know what you did. I mean, you attempted to revive this person. You went out of your way to make sure that was okay, but it was like, how long has this person been there? Mm-hmm. We're in a shitty little spot in our area, and it's just kind of upsetting to think that there's entirely too many of these people that you just collapse on the side of the road, and then that's where you are.
Yeah. And
so how do you fix that? That's what I'm getting at, because you're saying, like what you said earlier, was that, well, that they have choices, they have options.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything, no matter what, you need to work for whatever you want. We work for what we want. My parents work for what they want. Your parents work for what they want or need. We work for what we need. If you pulled one out for me, I don't want it.
But let's say that they're not. Let's say that they're not doing that. And there's a lot of them that are not doing that.
How can you help somebody who won't help themselves?
Well, what can we do as a society to make sure that they're okay? Because if they're not okay, then they just wander the streets. And if they just wander the streets and they're not okay, then...
Well, first off, I think healthcare should be free for everybody. I don't care if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're homeless, if you have $1,000 billion trillion dollar mansion. I think everybody should have free healthcare. Everybody needs it in some sort of way. I think that might help some. Because hospital bills are expensive as fuck. Expensive as fuck.
Well, what about the people that don't have a home, though?
I think there needs to be more programs in place and needs to be more public about it. Hey, there's this home located on Jefferson Street in whatever town, city. There's these food banks here, and here. I think it needs to be more public. How many, what are they called?
We've used food pantries.
Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing wrong with food pantries. And I'm
No.
not saying that there's a thing wrong with that for anybody to use. I think that everybody should be allowed to use those
I do
things.
too.
I mean, I don't care if you, even if you don't get a link card or you don't get this, like, there's, you ought to be able to receive that. I mean, my parents make way more money than what we do, but in the same turn, food's gotten too fucking expensive. It's
Yes.
just gotten so expensive that I think it's a necessary thing.
But like things like that. We live here in this town. I don't even know if the one up the road is a food pantry or not. And that's the only one I know of here.
Yeah.
I know there's one in the city I used to live in
Yeah.
and the one I was raised in.
Yeah.
But are there more? There has to be more.
I know there's a lot more. It's a lot of churches around here that give a lot of stuff away.
But see, I don't know any of that. So how many others don't know that?
Exactly.
I think it needs to be more
you're right.
public. At least, set a date every second Saturday out of the month where this church is doing this. Every third Tuesday, the one up the road is doing theirs.
How do you help the people that don't want help, or what do you do about those people?
Give them the information and they can take it for how it is.
But what if they don't? Like, what do you do at that point if they refuse to do that, and you can't have droves of people just walking the streets?
I don't know. So you just have to give them the information. You can't force somebody if they don't want it. I mean, I guess you could, but what good would that do?
I mean, it's just they arrest them on a regular basis, but then they can't pay anything, and then it's just ultimately us with our taxes paying for them.
Well, yeah. And that's not okay. For them to be... That came out wrong, and I don't know how to fix it. I understand people need help, but arresting them, giving them a record, should not be the way to go do it.
No, I don't. I agree with you.
They need help. I don't know, the one guy that we always see that you don't like,
Yeah.
if he really is homeless and just a streetwalker, as you put it, does he know all these things? Does he have the health care he needs?
I think in a lot of cases that people are given they're given more information, they're given the ability to do stuff more so than what they use it. So I think you're right
Probably.
on a lot of cases. So we talked about that. If I'm gonna change the subject, this just completely just warp the subject completely. Change it to a completely different thing, because we're gonna have two different very philosophical discussions, and the first one has already really been answered, and that is that I believe you believe that you give people opportunities could do, should do a certain kind of thing. And if they don't, then you've given them all the tools, you've given them all the resources. So it becomes a more of a problem where they have to do it. And there's not there's not anything you can do to make that better. It's unfortunate. And it's what you want. Like, you want for things to be better, but they just aren't.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a human race kind of thing.
There's a lot of cars going by tonight.
So, my question to you is, and this is to change the subject completely and totally change the subject. This is a totally different thing now that we're talking about.
Oh, I popped my shoulder.
If you're going to talk about people in the human race and stuff like that, you have to wonder to yourself. You always have to wonder, is there more of us somewhere?
I don't think there's more human beings, like, on a different planet. No. I do believe there is a different type of life.
Do you?
I do. I think it's crazy.
To imagine that we're the only ones?
Yeah. I don't think there's other species that look like us. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, 2 ears, 1 heart, 2 lungs. I don't think they have what we have. They might in some sort of way, but they might have an arm coming out of their head.
We don't understand. We're confident in the fact that creatures cannot exist without carbon. Mm-hmm. And we can't find carbon on any other planets.
But have we searched the entire universe?
We haven't searched the entire universe. We've searched our galaxy, our Milky Way galaxy.
Just because it's not in our galaxy doesn't mean there's not other life.
Well, do you believe that there is other creatures that... And the question becomes, because we can see things out in the stars.
Yeah.
Like, we can see where stars die, where stars begin, where stars end. We can see how things are, but there's no... We're sending a lot of things out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of distribution of what we're doing. So if there's a lot of distribution of what we're doing, then would you not believe that other species would have that as well?
Absolutely.
But we can't see it.
They might be in a whole different galaxy.
No, we can see other galaxies. What I'm saying is, we can't see anybody else's, well, I guess what you would call it, cosmic pollution that they would send out that we could see. We don't see those things. So the question becomes, why don't we see those things? Because if we were in those other galaxies...
We're not meant to see it.
Well, if we were in those other galaxies, we could see us easily.
Maybe their carbon footprint's a different type of thing.
Well, that... There's 2 different breeds of thought with that. Thought 1 is that we can't see it because they don't want us to see it.
Exactly.
Thought 2 is that they are so far advanced from what we are currently that the pollution that they would leave out in a galaxy would be so far out of our realm of understanding that we wouldn't get it.
Right.
Now, if you believe in the first one, then the thought process has to fluctuate. And that has to be, why would you not want to be seen?
For their safety. For our safety.
Why would you not want to be seen for your safety?
Predators.
So to believe, so okay, so that's exact. So you just hit the nail on the head. Like, just immediately you hit exactly what I was going for. And that was that, do you believe that there is that it's possible that there's a predatorial species that other species are afraid of, and so they want to be quiet?
Well, yeah.
We're not quiet,
Absolutely not.
so then why would we not be quiet, and then they would be quiet?
Because if they're more advanced than us, then they would know more and be like, hey, that thing's a predator. We gotta be quiet.
Well, I mean, first of all, would you not think that they would think that we're a predator?
Maybe they just have it, they're closer. I don't know.
I mean, would you not think? First of all, would you not think that they would think that we're a predator because of like where they're seeing these monkeys on this planet, and they bomb each other to pieces
Yeah.
on a regular basis?
Mm-hmm.
So are they a predator that we need to worry about? But if they have that sort of ability to know all of this, and they already know us, and they know enough about us to realize what we are and what we're capable of, and I think we're capable of very little in the spectrum of things. I think that we're going to turn this up. I think we're very silly and dopey in our way of doing things. In the whole cosmic aspect of things, I think we're not great at anything.
I agree.
Like, and all we can do is destroy this planet, and we can't even do that because at some point it'll just wipe its mouth.
Yeah.
And there'll be no more of us or anything else. I mean, that's with the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's already happened. But the cosmic reality of there being a predator, not like the movie The Predator, but like a cosmic reality of a predator, of a thing that you should be afraid of because it will take your planet and take your resources.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
do you believe that's a thing that can happen?
I do.
So you think that space travel and doing anything in space is probably a bad thing for us?
No?
We're leaving a lot of signals out there.
Yeah, just because we're leaving signals doesn't mean anything. Well, it does.
Well, it does. It does. If there's a predator out there, if there's a thing that can haunt us, that can hunt us, that can hurt us.
I said, well, it does. I switched.
So, do you truly believe that like space exploration, that it's a good thing for people? I mean, we've noticed nothing. That's I can't remember what
We've noticed nothing for now.
It's the
tomorrow,
something.
next week, next month, next year. There might be something.
It's the something paradox where they're like, there should be way more of us. There should be way more civilization, things that are like us.
Mm-hmm.
But if there isn't anything like us, not anything that we can detect, then that leads one to believe one of two ineluctable conclusions. And conclusion 1 is that they're so far away and so advanced that we can't detect what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they don't paint themselves in the sky like what we do. Because we do. We absolutely do.
Oh, yeah.
We paint ourselves everywhere. Everything that we do and everywhere that we go, we paint. It's like when you look at like graffiti on the side of a wall, like we're doing that in the galaxy. Like badly, like crazy.
I know.
Like so we're either that or the other ones know that they need to be quiet. And we're not quiet, which means we can be heard, which means bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So, I mean, what do you think? The second one, like the first one or the second one?
Why not a little bit of both?
You think there's a thing, a species, an entity, of any sort that they could see us in the way they could see us, and they don't want anything to do with it.
Uh-huh.
Like, but they can see it. So they could use us for whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Or that they're quiet because they know they need to be quiet.
They're quiet.
Or the third option is there isn't anybody else.
There's gotta be somebody.
There's the only options are you're quiet because you know you need to be quiet. There is nobody else. Or people or whatever it is that can sense us is upset by what they're sensing and want nothing to do with us going forward. Because we're painting murals across an entire galaxy.
Oh, excuse me.
And if there is any civilization that is even close to our ability to look at all this stuff, then they've either seen it and they're repugnant by it, or they know that we're being the loudest ones and we'll be the first ones to get got.
Yeah.
Or there's nobody else. Because there's no reason that we haven't seen anything. You know? I mean, does that not...
So do you believe there's nothing else?
Truly, what I believe, like, is that there's nothing else. I don't think there's nothing else, but
He's thinking.
I think there's nothing else that would ever want to have anything to do with us other than to eat us. I believe in the universe. Like we're talking about in the galaxy, our Milky Way galaxy. There's nothing. We know that.
Yeah.
Up front. The universe, that's infinity. So there's something. We can't see some of it. We don't fully understand some of it. We can look at most of it. We can at least look at most of it. We can extrapolate a lot of it out, like using quantum physics. Like we can extrapolate that out. So I would say that there's nothing out there other than us. And if there is a thing out there other than us, then it's only a thing that either wants nothing to do with us or wants to eat us. Like there's no reason for it to have anything to do with us. And if it wanted to, it would have already had. And if you talk about UFOs and shit like that, I don't believe in any of that. Not even a lick. Not a bit. There's no part of me that thinks that any of that's real. That's dumbass drunk farmers in a field. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in Satan. I don't believe in any of this other bullshit. I 100% believe that if there is a thing, anything, if there is anything, that thing, that entirety of entity wants only one thing. And that is to never, ever deal with our destructive, awful civilization and just let us nuke ourselves out of the world, because we will.
Yeah.
Or they're predators and they're waiting to
Attack?
eat us and the rest of the... You looked away from me, so...
Sorry.
They're predators and they're looking to eat what we have in us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any other... I don't think there's any other life on another planet that's, like, guessing like what we are. I don't think that's... I don't even think that makes sense. Because if we can't see them and we're shooting guesses out for literally thousands of light years, I don't even think it's possible. I legitimately don't think that's... I don't think it's a possibility. I think we would have seen them. And since we haven't, they have two motives. Either stay the fuck away from these people, or we're just going to wait till we can fucking eat them. Or they don't exist, and there is nobody. And your beginning and your ending is the entirety of your existence. And that's how people work. We're the only thing with consciousness that at the end of it, it's done. At the beginning of it, it begins. And we're the only things in the universe that does that. That's what I think. Are you sad now?
No.
You alright?
Tired.
We're still recording.
I know.
I love you, baby girl.
I love you too.
Cap.
I love you too, baby doll.
Hey, this has been fun. This has been real. Had a nice little chat. Cat chat.
The cat chat with baby girl.
Have you liked it?
Yeah.
We are what we are. It is what it is.
You am what you am.
Over and out.
Over and out. You're going to stop it. You got the device in your hand.
Hang on, I'm trying. We did over and out, but I didn't have the thing ready.
Good night.
Over and out. For real this time.
For real.